Oh. Hey everyone, what's going on? The Pocket Moggers here. Hope you're doing well. Hope everything's going well with you today. We're going to do a video real quick about the Soulsborne franchise and all of the entries in there. My brother, Magellan here, would like to talk to you about his favorites. And we put it together in a tier list. Unfortunately, the audio didn't work while we were making the tier list, but we have a little bit of slides explaining each of his the placement for each of the games in each tier and why he put them there. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you enjoy. So, not that you need me to tell you this, but the Soulsborne games are some of the best video games in the industry. We are to this day seeing different companies emulate the Soulsborne games. There's a Souls-like genre that is modeled after them. It has transformed RPGs and even some other games as well. And really big thing in culture right now. But Magellan has played every single one of them, and he would like to tell you about them. So here we go. So, Magellan's choices here. I'm not gonna annotate what he said simply because I don't wish to misrepresent him while we are talking, and I find that's the quickest and easiest way to do that to somebody. So, anyway, let's get started. We're gonna start with the C tier, and there's only one game in that tier, and that is Elden Ring Night Rain. Okay, so what's going on, Magellan? How you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
So we're here to talk about his C tier list, and there's only one ranking on there. That's Elden Ring Night Rain. So he put that in the C tier. Let's see what he thinks. Why he's what his mood is for that one.
So I'm gonna try to explain my rankings for the games without spoiling anything in the games. So they're gonna be
Smart.
kind of vague. Um, but I give Night Rain a 2.7 out of 5. If we're ranking Soulsborns, I wouldn't necessarily rank it 2.7 out of 5 if we were just going with overall games, right?
Right.
Like out of that, it's probably like a 3.5 or a 4 out of 5. But in compared to other Dark Souls games, it's a 2.7.
Okay.
It's basically a huge boss rush. Excuse me. It's basically a huge boss rush. Um, which is not what I'm interested in the Dark Souls games as much. I'm more interested in like tough areas more like bosses count as PvE, but I will call it PvE aspects. I like the PvE aspects of the Soulsborne games that don't involve bosses. Um, so it's a boss rush and it gets a little stale. Like I got kind of tired of it um pretty quickly, kind of fatigued from it. Um, but it's not a bad game at all. I mean, it's a fun game.
Do you think it was worth what was it? It was like $50, right?
I think it should have gone for 40.
You think 40 is fair?
Yeah, because it kind of doesn't feel like a standalone game. It kind of feels like half a game. Um,
Sorry, I had a burp in me now. Yeah, well, that's kind of what I was thinking. I mean, like, I understand that it plays differently. Okay, I'm not naive enough to assume this is the case, but I don't understand why it couldn't be a new game mode in Elden Ring.
yeah,
Right?
something like that.
Yeah,
That would have been cool.
yeah, where it just changes the mechanics. I don't know. That's what I was thinking about the whole thing. A big, expansive DLC.
Mhm.
Where you get to fight Dark Souls bosses and Sekiro bosses and stuff,
The
right?
other thing is the game doesn't really open up until you know the map really well.
Mm.
So it's got a little bit of a curve to it when you start playing.
I see.
Uh,
So it's like Donkey Kong Country, where you die because you don't know what's coming up ahead of you
yeah,
until
or
you do.
yeah, you have to farm bosses in the overworld in order to get weapons and stuff to upgrade your character, levels and things
Excuse
like
me.
that to upgrade your character.
Yeah, it's got a lot of
And so you want to
excuse me.
know which bosses you're going for on the map. Uh,
I see. So like a route.
yeah, you need to have a route memorized.
I get you.
That's good. That'll keep you high enough level that when you fight the big bosses,
Hmm.
you're not completely sucking.
Okay.
So I'd say there's a little bit of a learning curve to it too.
Sure. Okay.
But
Well,
yeah, 2.7.
cool. All right. You heard it here first, folks. All right, and here in the B tier, we've got the Demon Souls remake. We've got Dark Souls 2, its DLC, and Dark Souls 3. So let's see what he thinks. Okay, so your B tier is the Demon Souls remake, Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 2 DLC, and Dark Souls 3. So let's talk about that Demon Souls remake first.
I give it a 3.5 out of 5.
Okay.
It was a solid remake. They did a really good job of sticking to the original as best as possible. I really enjoyed playing it. I thought it was really fun. The only thing that makes it a 3.5 out of 5 is I liked the original's score better. The original Demon Souls, in my opinion, has a better soundtrack.
Okay. I see. Is it instrumentation or did they just change the music up
They
completely?
changed it slightly. It's not like they didn't like redo the entire every song.
Right.
But
just enough.
They changed it slightly, like just enough that it's noticeable. But I felt like the music for certain bosses was better in the original Demon Souls.
That's important, you know. I
Yeah,
mean, if
it's
you can't,
atmospheric.
yeah, exactly. If you can't get into it when you're fighting a boss, sometimes it messes the whole thing up.
I heard from my friend that Miyazaki hates the Bloodbourne remake.
Really? Oh, you mean the Demon Souls remake?
Demon Souls remake. Sorry. Yeah. I wish there was a Bloodbourne remake.
Don't worry. So do we all. My buddy. He's every time PlayStation has a new announcement, he sends me the meme of the Bloodborne fan putting the clown paint. On. Yeah. I mean, I feel for y'all. I really do. It sucks. I mean, I am a Metroid fan, so I do understand to an extent. Although you guys get lucky, as when Miyazaki releases a new Soulsborne game, it doesn't suck.
Yeah.
Prime 4 on the other hand, right?
Yeah, they really botched it with Prime 4.
Boy howdy. But anyway, that's not what this is about. How about Dark Souls 2? Well, what do you think?
Dark Souls 2 is a 3.5 out of 5. The remake of Dark Souls 2 is the same. I think they're both just about they're both really fun. You can have a blast with them. The remakes got all the DLC.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, what can I say about Dark Souls? Basically,
Dark Souls 2.
Dark Souls 2. Um, basically, there's not like in the original Dark Souls 2,
Mm-hmm.
there's not a lot to do.
Mm.
Like you kind of beat the game and then there's nothing.
Ah.
The DLC makes the game a lot more expansive, and I really like the Dark Souls 2 DLC.
Is that the one that starts with the bird? You have to do stuff with a bird. Is that too?
No, I don't think so.
Mm.
It's the Ivory King.
No, but isn't that the one that starts with the witches? Dark Souls 2? Doesn't that start with?
Yeah, that starts
Yeah.
with the witch.
Okay. Okay. All right. And guys, I'm not deeply entrenched in this stuff. I'm just trying to jog my brain. So I apologize to everybody who knows what they're talking about and is annoyed with me right now. But so you say both the original and the remake are the same?
Yeah, they're rated about the same.
Okay.
Some of the bosses in Dark Souls 2
Mm-hmm.
are really tough, like really rough to get through. Especially with the DLC.
Mm. When you say rough to get through, do you mean like tedious or do you mean like
I mean, like
difficult?
if you're not spec'd right for the boss, you might have to redo your entire build.
No, yeah.
Um,
I don't want to do that in a playthrough. That's for sure.
yeah, it's
Certainly not multiple times.
it's just not the most like Elden Ring. You can kind of beat the entire game with the same build, but Dark Souls 2 DLC, some of the bosses demand that you focus on like their weaknesses, which demands you rebuilding your character.
Yeah,
But
which is not an easy thing to do.
I mean, Dark Souls 2 makes it pretty easy to at least respec.
Okay, so ease, let me be a little more clear. Not necessarily in game, but time
Yeah.
wise, in real life, all the time you have to take to reallocate everything,
Yeah.
change your equipment.
It's really the equipment changing that's time consuming because you have to upgrade a new weapon all the way up and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I should have been a little more specific.
But Dark Souls 2, I believe, introduced the adaptability stat on your character menu.
Okay.
Which helps you with invincibility frames when you roll.
Okay.
Which a lot of people like, and then some people hate. I don't know where I sit on it.
So like a Kingdom Hearts roll, where you iframe your way through it. Okay.
Yeah, basically.
And you're safe when you're in the roll, but start and end of roll you're vulnerable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
Basically.
Okay.
And adaptability increases the number of frames in your roll that make you invincible.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, Kingdom Hearts does the same thing.
Realistically, you can go through. Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. Don't worry about it. That was the end of my statement.
Okay.
There's levels. Well, okay. Kingdom Hearts 2 does the same thing. I don't know if any of the other ones do, but you get the dodge roll, and just like the other abilities, the dodge roll can be leveled up, and it increases the amount of iframes you have when you roll.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, like that.
Yeah.
You can realistically go through the entire game without putting anything in adaptability.
Interesting. Okay.
But some people like to put points into it. They say it really helps. I don't know. Dark Souls 2 is still one of those games that like you can become reliant on a shield. So with shields existing and them actually being useful, it's kind of like why put points in adaptability when
that makes sense.
Just grab a great shield.
Right, and just stand there. Yeah. Yeah, I see that. Okay. And our last one.
3.2 out of 5.
Okay. Well, and our last one is Dark Souls 3.
Dark Souls 3. I'm sorry, did I say Dark Souls 2 is a 3.2 out of 5?
Yes, you did. I think you meant Dark Souls 3 is a 3.2.
I meant Dark Souls 3 is a 3.2 out of 5.
Yeah. And why would you say that? And well, okay, so before you go there, you'd say Dark Souls 2 and its DLC and its remake are like a 3?
Yeah.
Okay. And then Dark Souls 3 you'd say is a 3.2.
Yes.
And why would you say that?
It's a really solid game. It's fun to play through.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't really expand upon the Dark Souls universe that much. And it's kind of over kind of quick, I would say.
See. Okay.
But it's a solid game. Like, I really liked it.
Yeah.
I had more fun with it than I did with. Well, I wouldn't say I had more fun with it than I did with Dark Souls 2, but I cleared it quicker and was more invested in it. It's another game you can just do one build.
Well, that's good.
The whole way through.
At least it's easy to go through it, you know. You can commit to something, you don't feel like you're wasting time building your character.
Yeah. And you don't have to like respec your character at any points.
That's good. Yeah.
Or anything.
New players are gonna like the fact that they can just commit to something.
Yeah.
Don't have to worry about that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But just short, huh?
Yeah, just a little short for me.
Anything else you want to say?
Not really. I don't have much to say about Dark Souls 3.
Okay.
It's a good game.
Hey. Well, there we go. There's our B tier. And our A tier has the original Demon's Souls, the original Dark Souls, its remake, and Elden Ring, all incredibly popular members of the franchise. Once again, let's turn to Magellan and see what his thoughts are on this. Okay, and so over in the A tier, we have the original Demon's Souls. We have the original Dark Souls, the Dark Souls remake, and Elden Ring. So let's start with Demon's Souls, the original Demon's Souls. Where would you put that on there?
4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. How much, geez?
Solid 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5, huh?
That game got me addicted to it when I ran into Maiden Estrella.
Really?
Yeah, that entire boss fight is just it's so much like Berserk. Like, you're descending into hell, basically. You start off and you can just kill, like, cult members.
Oh, that's awesome.
They don't do anything to you, but you can kill them anyway. And it kind of makes you question whether your character is the good guy or not, which is a big thing in Demon's Souls.
It makes sense. With a game called Demon's Souls, right? You would want a little bit of ambiguity there.
Yeah, you're on a quest to collect Demon's Souls, and the ways you get them and stuff are not necessarily what, like, a good person would do.
Yeah, I know that Miyazaki has a lot of love for Berserk in his work. You and I can both safely say we are Berserk fans, for anybody in here who is also a Berserk fan.
Yeah, definitely. Berserk is, like, episode 21 of that show. Just, Jesus, man.
Yeah, man.
It takes the whole season to build up to it, which is really good, because the payoff is just so good.
Golly, what a sucker punch, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to go too hard into it for anybody who hasn't seen it.
But like I said, I'm avoiding spoilers in general, so we'll avoid spoilers on Berserk. But man, is it good.
It's great. Fantastic. Everybody should check it out. While we're talking about it very quickly, I'm sorry, Soulsborne fans. I promise I'll shut up about things in just a second. But speaking of, Absolute Batman just did a comic where they referenced Berserk. If you don't read Absolute Batman, read Absolute Batman. You'll love it. It intentionally references anime and manga all the time. It's fantastic.
Yeah, didn't they have a One Piece reference?
They did a Gear 2 Luffy. They did an Akira one. They did a Dragon Ball one. They did, there was another one, but I can't remember what it is. Anyway, I'm going to stop now. We're going to jump back to the topic at hand.
But yeah, Demon's Souls, great game.
All right.
Game. It's not the one I started with, though.
Yes, which would be?
Dark Souls.
And you would give that?
I would give Dark Souls and its remake a 4.2 out of 5.
Hey, just as good as each other, huh?
Yeah, they're just as good as each other. It was the first Souls game I played.
Mm-hmm.
And once I found an illusory wall, it was over.
They are really cool.
I was just like, I gotta find every secret in this game. And yeah, I mean, I love the PvE in Dark Souls. I think it's perfect. You can enter fog walls, that don't lead to bosses. They just lead to tougher areas.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool. I miss that.
Yeah.
Especially in Elden Ring, I miss that. I wish Elden Ring had done more of that kind of thing.
Really?
Yeah.
What would you have done for that? We're gonna pick his brain for a minute here, folks. What would you have done to make it that possible in Elden Ring?
I would have just introduced fog walls to tougher areas, like when
Just done the exact same thing, huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
there are areas in Caelid that are just tough to navigate through. There are areas underground that are tough to navigate
I remember you
through.
getting lost sometimes in those areas.
Yeah, I got
early game, when he was playing it the first time.
But anyway, back to Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Dark Souls is just a classic, amazing game. It opened my eyes to what an RPG could be. And it's just so good. And
I can't sleep. Sorry, talking to my dog, folks.
I leveled intelligence the first way through and just had a blast being a wizard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was just cool. And then I think I went Pyromancer the next time I went through it.
You have played the original Dark Souls some 15 times.
Yeah.
You breeze through that game now. Jeez, had a hard time staying that. Did a little Jimmy Vollmer there for a second.
But yeah, I'd give Dark Souls and the remake of Dark Souls a 4.2 out of 5.
All right.
If you want to play it, play the remake. I mean, it's just as good, but it's got updated graphics and stuff, so you'll enjoy it more. And then finally, Elden Ring.
Yeah, Elden Ring.
Which I give a 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5, huh? I can hear some of the more crazy Elden Ring people getting their guns ready.
Yeah.
So you've chosen death. They're saying.
Yeah. I rank it worse than Dark Souls.
Totally fair. Why? Out of curiosity.
Elden Ring turns into a boss rush.
Okay.
And yeah, there's a lot of exploration to do. But it doesn't emphasize. Well, it does kind of emphasize the exploration, but I just felt like there could have been areas that were more unique in the PvE.
I see. So not the kind of exploration you wanted. You admit that there is a lot of it. It's just not to your liking. You would have liked something a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just that they repeat some of the areas, like the heroes' graves. They're all the same basic idea. Giant statues rushing down ramps, and then interrupted by lava or whatever.
Skeleton men.
And I just felt like they could have done less repeating on themes and done more original stuff.
You would say Dark Souls 1 does a better job
of that.
Okay.
And also, Elden Ring's huge. So I don't expect it to do what Dark Souls did, but Dark Souls map is just perfect. Everything is interlinked. Whereas Elden Ring's map is not. Every area is not interlinked, and some areas are cut off until you unlock certain things.
I see.
But I would have liked the areas to be more interlinked in Elden Ring.
I liked, again, first time, early playthroughs, way back when. I liked watching you go to areas where they had little portals that would connect you to random snippets of different areas. To connect it to a game that does not have much in common with it. Mario Odyssey did that too. Little challenge doors that would take you to future kingdoms where you would do little rooms and then you would go back to your kingdom so you could see what was ahead of the game. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought that was fun, but I do admit I liked the interconnectivity of Dark Souls 1 a little better. It seems, like you said, I hesitate to use the word fleshed out because obviously George R. R. Martin and Miyazaki basically wrote a book for Elden Ring.
Yeah, the lore for Elden Ring is a 5 out of 5.
Yeah, stuff is crazy fleshed out, right? So I'm not trying to say that, but better conceived, I don't know, better realized, I guess, is what I would say, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Anything else you'd like to say about Elden Ring?
Not really. There are some bosses in Elden Ring that you're gonna redo your entire build to fight.
Same thing, huh?
Yeah, the game makes it again, the same thing. It's easy to respec your character's stats, but you have to upgrade the weapons in your new build.
Right, in order for them to be effective
Yeah,
with
and
the
that can
scaling of your
be
level.
tricky if you don't have like if you haven't got the bell bearings for the different stones. Then you can't just go to the vendor and buy them. You have to like look out in the world and try to find where like somber smithing stones are, and that could be tedious. So yeah, I mean, I would say Elden Ring is a solid 4 out of 5.
Okay.
Really good game though. I love Elden Ring.
All right. Well, there we go. Yeah, me too. I can't wait to see Nick Swartzen play Mikola in the live action. He's gonna do great. Well, S is certainly for Sekiro, and while I don't know what Bloodbourne has to do with the letter S, it is also up here in the titans of the Soulsborne genre. So let's see what Magellan thinks about these two games and finish this whole thing up, shall we? Okay, so Magellan here has the S tier filled with Sekiro and Bloodbourne. And what, Magellan, would you give Sekiro?
I give Sekiro a 4.5 out of 5.
Okay, and why would you say it's a 4.5 out of 5?
They changed their philosophy from like a defensive kind of passive fighting to a very aggressive fighting by making it parry based.
Okay.
Your entire combat is based on parrying
instead of shields.
Instead of shields. So when you're fighting people, it really feels like you're actually sword fighting people. You're trying to decide when to attack, when to parry.
Right.
When to move out of the way. But it's aggressive. So it's faster paced, which is really nice. But it makes you feel good when you're good at it because you're going quick. So you're like, cool, I'm actually like good at sword fighting, you know? That's what it feels like anyway. I took 0.5 away from it because of how difficult some of the bosses are. I gave it 0.3 because of how difficult some of the bosses are too. So I gave it 0.3 and then took away 0.5, so it's a 4.5.
Okay.
But some of the bosses are so difficult that you just feel like quitting the game. And that can be like a real challenge for people who are, especially if you're new to Soulsborne games. Sekiro. Sekiro's great if you're new because you're not used to the mechanics of other Soulsborne games, which is good because Sekiro has completely different mechanics from any other Soulsborne game. So if you start with Sekiro, it's a good starting point. But again, you really might just give up.
You think so, huh?
Because sometimes it just like you're like, am I even doing enough damage to the boss? You know, and usually you are doing enough damage. You're just having a hard time reading the boss, or trying to decide when's a good time to attack and that kind of thing.
Okay.
But yeah, I would give Sekiro a 4.5 out of 5.
Okay. Anything else you want to say before we move on?
It's a really good game.
Yeah, for sure.
Like if I was rating it against other games, I'd give it like a 4.7.
Yeah. That's again, this whole thing is a scale, right? I mean, it's just like I'm doing a video for the Generations of Pokemon, and just like there, it's when compared to the other games that we're doing, not when compared to games as a whole.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll always do better if we were comparing them to games as a whole, because there are games like Plumbers Don't Wear Ties out there that will bring everything down.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, for sure. So our last one then would be Bloodbourne.
Bloodbourne gets a 5 out of 5.
Woo! Okay, and why is
Perfect
Bloodbourne?
Because again, they got rid of shields. There's a shield in the game, but you can pick it up, but I don't believe you can equip it. and the item description says that only cowards use shields. They replaced it with a parry mechanic, and it's a big philosophy change from compared to like Dark Souls.
Positive one, you'd say?
I would say positive. I think it makes the game a lot more fun to play. And it makes the bosses easier to defeat, I think, or at least feel like they're easier to defeat because you're fighting them quickly. So it's either over or you win very quickly in boss fights in Bloodborne. And I would say that's really good for the overall feel of the game because you're going to be dying on bosses.
Yeah, sure.
And so it's nice to like fight a boss.
Soulsborne's, right?
Soulsborne's, yeah, you're gonna die. But it's nice because when you die and then reload, it's fast again.
Okay.
It doesn't feel like a boss rush, which is really good.
That is good.
They did enough.
That's hard to do.
Yeah, they did enough with the PvE where it feels like an actual solid, like, sometimes you're just fighting. And I know bosses count as PvE, I get that. But you're just fighting the environment sometimes, and then sometimes you're fighting bosses. And
sometimes it's nice to just have like a traditional level, right, where you're just trying to get to the end.
That's what I like about Soulsborne games. I like making my character good at that. Good at just getting through levels. And then I'll address the bosses when I get to them.
Makes sense. I mean, 90% of the time it's the rooms and the enemy layouts that get you. The bosses. You see the deaths from like streamers and stuff like that. You see the deaths of against the bosses, right? Because those are the ones that are impactful. Generate views and stuff like that. But they're dying out there to all of the enemies lurking around. Stuff too, right? Like it's just the nature of the games themselves.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, it's just as important.
I'd say.
Keep in mind. Yeah.
The other thing is that Bloodborne, you can pick up on the lore from watching cutscenes and talking to NPCs.
Yeah.
You don't have to read the item descriptions to get the lore.
Accessible.
You can.
Sure.
And it helps. You'll get more of the lore, but you don't have to. And that's really nice. It's one of the only Soulsborne games where you don't have to do that.
Yeah, I'm sure that helped when it became popular. Right?
It helps a lot. Yeah, I would say.
Yeah.
Because there are times in like Dark Souls and Dark Souls 2 where you're gonna be like, what am I even doing? Like you'll know what you're going to do, but you're like, why am I doing that?
Right.
Who's this guy? What is even going on? You don't really get that with Bloodborne. Bloodborne, you pretty much know what's going on the entire time. Super nice. But yeah, I would say out of the Soulsborne games, Bloodborne is the perfect one.
Yeah.
Hopefully people in the comments don't murder me for my opinion.
I don't think you're going to find too many people who disagree with you.
I'd be interested to see in the comments if anyone likes the shield mechanic better than the parrying mechanic.
I'm sure there are people out there.
Because some people like the slower feel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Demon Souls and the Dark Souls games have their champions, that's for sure. Elden Ring as well. Right. So I'm sure there are people out there, but I mean I see the clamor and the fervor from people who want a Bloodborne remake or Bloodborne 2 or whatever, and it's always a pretty sizable part of the audience. So I think you're gonna find you're in good company, that one. But anyway, there it is. There's all of the Soulsborns, according to Magellan. Oh, sorry for that noise there, folks, but there we have it. Thanks you all so much for your time. We really do appreciate it. Do you mind saying thanks, Magellan?
Thank you for listening to my opinions. Super nice.
So, real quick, just got to do it like I do at the end of every one of my videos. We don't own Bandai Namco, the Dark Souls series, Sekiro, Elden Ring, Demon Souls, Bloodborne, Elden Ring, Night Ring. any of the remakes or the games in the collection that I might not have mentioned. We don't own them. We never have. We never will. God, I wish. Don't you, Magellan? Wouldn't that be nice? But this is purely for fun. It's completely satirical. It fits fair use. All rights belong to the respective owners of these properties. With all that out of the way, thanks again for your time. Let your family know that you love them. Stay safe out there. We'll see you all in the next one.
See ya.
Later.